every year you leave alfalfa in, you get better and better weed control. The next year you get better and better corn crops, is from what we've seen on our farm. My name is Bryce Earlbeck, and we're here in West Central Iowa at B&B Earlbeck Farms. It's June 30th. As you can see behind us, we have an organic and transitional alfalfa field going on, setting it up for organic corn. Why is transition so important to get correct? And why is it so detrimental if you don't do it correct? If you look at a transition that gains weeds, if you have mistakes, which thinking that starting out in organic and thinking you're not going to make mistakes is probably not, organic's probably not for you, because you're going to have mistakes. And so eliminating as many mistakes as possible. And we look behind us, we've found out transitioning through alfalfa has been one of the best ways to accomplish that transition, leave you for the best possible organic corn crop, and allow you to not make mistakes. Now, we're not saying don't transition through any corn or soybeans to learn, but massive amounts of acres, and I'm saying anything over 30, 40, 50 acres, if you're just starting and you know nothing about it, or you don't have somebody helping you, add in all those factors, I would put it into alfalfa or small grain at least. One of the key aspects that a lot of people don't understand is the economics behind alfalfa, how it works, and when you make money, when you don't make money, what you have to expect. One of the things is, do you fall seed or spring seed? And a lot of people don't have the opportunity to fall seed because they're growing corn or soybeans and need to get alfalfa in by August 15th, so it makes it very hard in the Midwest unless you plan for that. And so we do 1 year of small grains in transition underseeded with alfalfa and leave that in for 2 years, which is economically challenging if you don't have a lot of organic acres already, because that first year of spring seeded alfalfa is going to lose $200 to $300 an acre, because you're not going to get that full establishment, full production out of that alfalfa till year 2. So you have to plan for that $200 loss. You'll make it back up, and over 2 to 2.5 years, you'll break even in alfalfa to make a little money, depending on the price of alfalfa. What are the agronomics of alfalfa? It's a lot to encompass. It's a lot that people haven't done, producers haven't done normally in Iowa and the Midwest, and so it's a whole new ballgame, so it can be a little bit scary. But at B&B, we jumped into it. We hired a lot of stuff done to learn. We didn't try to take it all on at once. If you look in the background before we got here, we have somebody that cuts all the hay because we don't have time to do that. So it's really tying all that together, understanding your management, understanding your risk, and understanding the agronomy. Establishing alfalfa can be the tricky part. So not only understanding the economics, understand the risk management behind those agronomics and economics. So if we look at the agronomics, the risky part is getting it established, making sure we have a good alfalfa stand. So finding the right insurance to provide for that risk, as well as making sure you have a drill that doesn't put it in too deep and bury that seed so it doesn't emerge, as well as getting it planted at the right time, the right soil conditions with the right planter, and the right following the planter with something to pack it down. And we look at that, once we have it planted and established, we usually do it with a small grain and organic. So you're going to either cut that oats off for oats, or you're going to bale it off for feed, depending on where you're at in the country and what kind of markets you have. And so that would be the next management. And then after that, once you have that all baled off, you have alfalfa established, and you're managing the cutting, you're also managing the nutrients. That's one of the most important factors, as well as managing the pest control. As we've seen in western Nebraska creeping into Iowa here, we've seen alfalfa weevil decimate alfalfa fields because people didn't catch it soon enough. So the management of alfalfa is very high, but it's management that it doesn't require you to have a lot of timing based to the weather if you're not cutting for dairy alfalfa. And so those all come into play. It's not that much easier than corn if you're looking at management factors, but it's a lot more certainty behind it to being able to do that. When we start transition, we do spring seed for the most part, or we fall seed behind a small grain. In our organic rotation, we figured that we don't want to take that spring seeding hit. So we grow corn, then we grow a pea canola mix, and then we fall seed alfalfa. gives us 2 years of alfalfa for weed control back to corn. And we've really eliminated that huge hit you take the first year in alfalfa because we're not spring seeding it, and we get about 80–90% of the production that first year that alfalfa is coming up after the fall seeding. Besides the weed control, which is a major point that we've been hitting on, one of the things that we like to think about too is the cost of production. As a community, as a farmer, as an individual, we need to figure out, we're in a commodity business still. We need to figure out how to produce crops at the lowest price. And again, that goes back in organic to thinking about year 1 to year 5, not just year 1. So alfalfa, one thing it does is it puts 100 to 120 pounds of nitrogen back into the soil for the corn. Highly available, highly stable nitrogen that is available all year long for that corn and breaking down. So we reduce our litter cost, and if we figure litter at $50, $60 a ton, we're figuring about $1 a pound of nitrogen for that litter applied. So 120 pounds of nitrogen, or 120 pounds of nitrogen alfalfa puts in the soil is no small dollar amount to the cost of production. You have to think of it as a long-term investment, not making mistakes, and setting yourself up for the best possible success that you can have when you become organic.